I'll call the CJCC Executive and Operations Committee meeting to order. We do not have a quorum. The roll is myself, Andrea Nodoff, and Marshall. Marshall, I never say your last name right.
Moltov.
Moltov, who's sitting in for Sheriff Big. We can't approve the minutes. There's no public comment. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right. Consider, we should at least talk about the issues for consideration for actions for the goals for 2025. We can bring that to the full council. Sarah, what do you think?
I'm okay with that. Yep.
All right, implement and enhance the CJCC grant fund program goals. We have how many grants?
We are up to 7 grants. So 2 new ones adding on for 2025.
Okay.
And they all are detailed with objectives, goals, outcomes that we are required to fulfill with our best efforts by accepting these awards. So.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to talk about with those grants?
No, I think, instead of kind of detailing all the different grant activities, it was really just combining these into one so we can continue to monitor both progress and any changes that might need to occur. But we probably have, 15 goals that would come out of that one overarching goal. So this is where each month in our operational meetings will be sure that the oversight of the grants and the different programs is exercised with the operations committee and really continuing to kind of keep folks in the loop. We are looking to perhaps establish a work group for the law enforcement deflection and diversion, because there are 2 large grants that had some of the same objectives and some of the same line items that we're going to have to kind of straighten out. So we are, with this executive committee's approval, looking to have those ongoing meetings for the law enforcement deflection diversion side.
Andrea, I assume that if you got anything to say about it, you're going to jump in, right?
Right.
Good. All right. So moving on to the enhanced DNA collection and warrant fee process. That's about getting the DOJ to come in and talk about how we can make sure we get the DNA collection that we're supposed to. And the warrant fee process, the sheriff wanted to add that because he says we're not collecting warrant fees. He doesn't think we're ordering them. And so with regard to both of those, I think we need to map both of them out and see what our process is and see how to follow it. See where there's holes, why there's holes. Let's pay attention to that. Regarding the DNA collection, I talked to Stephanie Hilton this morning. She said she's going to send me an email regarding, if she can come in person or if she can come via Zoom for our next CJCC meeting. I think I told her that Sarah, that you would do everything because you're so wonderful.
Yep.
And I, if you want the stuff that I have a map of the state that shows every county and where they are on their DNA collection, which ones they haven't captured. So she said she'd help us with that.
Great. Yep. And I do have a copy of that.
after that CJCC meeting on the 20th of February, I think then we can schedule a time to do mapping. Maybe when everybody that's in, I really don't think it's the full CJCC. It's really the executive committee that's really involved. Although Luke's not on this executive committee, and so I think he needs to be involved as well. And the warrant fees, I think he needs to be part of that also. I think that also needs to be mapped. I haven't asked Chris if she would moderate for us, but I think she can. I just need to suck her into it. Crime Prevention Board. Where are we on that?
All right, that's where Marshall comes in.
I'll give you a little history on it. The state statute itself was presented by Senator Andre Jacques of Green Bay. I think it was back in like 15 or 16. I actually got to present with him at a state Crime Stoppers board like a year after he put it in. His intent with the statute was to create a funding source for state crime prevention programs, because they found the reason, basically 100% of the reason most of them folded and weren't able to continue was year-to-year funding revenue. The statute itself is 595428. If anybody wants a copy, I can send it to them. Basically, it creates that anybody convicted of a crime, $20 surcharge be ordered. And then it also outlines a crime prevention funding board members. If a county elects to have one enacted through resolution, it dictates who would be on the board and whether they can have it as a designee or not. Once the crime prevention board is created by the county, ours was approved in October 2020. I helped draft that and get it approved. Our first deposit by the clerk of courts, who was in charge of taking the funds that are ordered, was in April 2021. We've kind of held off on moving forward with this because we all realize that even though money is ordered to be paid, it doesn't come that day. It's usually caught up after a couple of years now.
I think you muted or something, Marshall. Or anything?
No.
Your mic off? No. Yeah, so it shows that you're muted from my end.
Any luck now?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I was just moving along and didn't do nothing. It just went and it showed that it wasn't on, but I just actually went in the computer, turned it back on and off outside the program. All right. I'll try to catch up where I was at. Clerk of courts have been collecting and placing into a fund. The intention is when the funds are in there, basically, and this is verbatim from the statute, is the crime board may solicit application for grants from this fund in a format determined by the crime board. Who can apply for the grants is pretty much one or more private nonprofit organizations within the county that its primary purpose is preventing crime, providing funding source for crime prevention programs, and encouraging the public to report crime or assisting law enforcement agencies in the apprehension of criminal offenders. Again, the senator's purpose when he drafted this was kind of make it narrow enough that basically just had the definition of Crime Stoppers programs. With that being said, we've been letting the fund build up because just to me, it didn't make sense to put it out there for grant requests if there wasn't any money in it or not enough to fulfill a grant request. I am the law enforcement liaison for the Crime Stoppers Board, and our yearly budget just to run with the programming and software to take tips is approximately $3,000 a year. At this point, the fund balance is $9,321.26. What I'm basically asking for is, I'd initially assisted in getting the resolution passed, sent out notices to those that would be by statute members of the board, that it did exist and that they would be they would be part of the board unless they named a designee. Now that it's gotten to the point there's enough money in there, so I feel somebody other than me needs to take over the notification and basically the running of the board because of the conflict of interest with me being Crime Stoppers liaison. And when I retire, I'll probably still stay on the board, so I can't really do both and, not say that there's, some undue influence. So what would happen is CJCC would take over the responsibilities for this. Basically, they would just notify those that by statute have to be members of the board, have meetings. There's no number of meetings that have to be done a year. Basically, we just have to put out a public notice that the monies are out there for grant application, taking the grant applications and make a determination whether those that apply should be awarded that money. Part of this is those that are awarded money need to do reports on what is done with the money, and the board just needs to make reports on who the money was given to. And again, that's all outlined pretty clearly by statute. I don't think it's very burdensome, but somebody needs to take it over. And to me, CJCC seems the best spot under the county government that it fits. And I can do whatever helps to get it going, provide forms already have the drafted letters and all that. Just I'm asking that it be taken over by the appropriate level of government. Any questions?
So, Andrea, what do you think?
So this is a goal for 2025, right?
Right.
Yeah, this is a request that came in, so we're looking to add it to a goal. Yes.
I mean, I think we need to continue with Crime Stoppers. It solved a lot of crimes. I think it serves an important function, but I guess who administers it, I don't know if it's really my place to say. I think it depends on other factors that aren't up to me.
I think we should put it on the agenda for the full CJCC. I think if we have one meeting a year, we can handle that. Don't you think, Sarah?
Yes. Yes.
And so if they need somebody to do it, if it's only one meeting a year, I think we can figure that out. And with Marshall's help, if he gives you all the documentation. So we should put it on the agenda for the full CJCC so that we can hopefully have a quorum and pass it.
Okay.
And if you need like a summary document or me to be there for that presentation too, I can either do a summary document of basically what's being requested and the responsibilities, or I do have a PowerPoint I could do, whatever's needed to get it through that next step.
Yeah, I think it would be nice to have some information that we could send out ahead of time so they can process that, and then probably be prepared if you can attend and answer any questions that might come up. This would be, a larger group, so there might be more questions than the small group has.
Yeah, I think it'd be good. I'll draft basically a informational summary that you can put out, so they're not just coming in with no knowledge of it at all. At least they'll have a basis for any questions, and then just let me know when it is, and I'll be there to ask any questions that come up other than what's given to them in the preparation.
Right. Sounds good. And just to add, sounds like you had shared, Marshall, that Chippewa County CJCC does something similar, correct?
Yes, I helped them get theirs enacted, and I actually spoke to their lead person at this last conference because I was looking at, having it, taken over the responsibility. And she said her county CJCC is where they place the responsibility to oversee it and open it up for grants.
Okay. So we're not creating something new here.
Nope.
Hey, Marshall, in that documentation, would you be able to describe kind of whether it's operating well and whether, I don't know how it works. Like if it's just that the software is up to date or if the sheriffs and police department need assistance with, I know you get bombarded when we have big cases with tons of information. If there's anything that you think is needed to help improve it.
I can do that.
Okay. Right.
Sarah, do you know, just so I have a time period to put on my list so I don't let it fall by the wayside, when would you like me to have the information completed to get to you to?
Our meeting will be on February 20th at 4 o'clock. So a week prior would be like February 13th, if you could.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. If I don't write it down, I forget it.
Yeah, and I can send you that invite so you got it on your calendar.
That'd be great.
Yep, we'll do. Okay, so all three of these goals for consideration will move to the council for consideration at the February meeting.
When's our next operation meeting?
The next operation meeting, we're back on our usual schedule, the first Wednesday at 11 a.m. So that'll be March 5th. This one was kind of a special meeting just because of the holiday. New Year's Day holiday was our typical meeting day.
So hopefully if we get on schedule, we'll get a quorum.
Yes. Yes.
All right. Oversight areas, review of new grant awards for 2025, treatment court enhancement. Sarah, is that you?
Yeah, so I will be taking two resolutions to the county board for grants that we received. We did receive an addition, well, $100,000 in state treatment alternative and diversion dollars, so the TAD dollars. We get grants every year for our diversion program TOP that come out of the TAD grant. So now we will be getting $100,000 for treatment court, and we're really looking to add a mental health therapist, more time on the team, add a peer support liaison to the team, some training and travel for the state and national conference for the treatment court team. We've got enhanced drug testing funding to detect these new and emerging drugs and to detect for tampering. There's more testing that we can do for tampering. And to funding for peer support for people that aren't already part of another program where a paid peer support can be a component. We would have some funding to set those peer supports up and really trying to transition them from these, professional teams to more of that natural recovery community out in that's emerging and growing out there. So extra 100,000 for treatment court. So it'll be more similar to family treatment court with some of the team dynamics and to ensure that we've got the training for the team to move ahead. So that one is moving ahead. And then the second grant that we're going to be adding to the 2025 budget is the state DHS law enforcement opioid abatement. So that's $250,000 a year. And that focus will be on a caseworker that'll work with Project Hope staff, so our behavioral health officers, Aaron Berg and Dylan Christ. It will be supplies to outfit an office. The sheriff's office is looking at using an old squad to repurpose so that there would be and things to set up in that. Some travel and training dollars, some outreach materials, and then we are looking to continue to subcontract with Kaleidoscope for the expanded hours at their Menominee location. And then they're also setting up satellite offices in the smaller communities. So they've got one set up in Boyceville already, and the other site, I can't remember, but to really start to bring that peer support out into the county, because it's hard for people to get a ride to Menominee if they live up in Ridgeland. So really just trying at least for a period of time to see the need, the utilization, but these are certified peer support. So they're people that have lived experience, they have a state certification, they have ethics and boundary training, and they're with a larger organization. So it's not as informal as some of those AANA type services. It's more of a formal opportunity for people. So that's that second grant that we're looking at doing. This law enforcement abatement grant is going to be ongoing for the foreseeable future. And that's coming out of state opioid settlement dollars. The TAD grant and that enhancement is also state dollars that comes out of the state legislature. That's my update on those. Any questions? Hey, you guys are probably more informed than most, so.
Local challenges, collaborations, and priorities. Do you have anything to say about that?
Just showing up for meetings and getting ready to take action. But no.
Sarah, I think we got to work on that letter to members of both the.
I sent it to you today. And
Oh, okay.
probably not the best tone because, yeah, but I sent it to you and for you to look at, and I'll follow up and we'll set up a meeting and take it from there. Yeah.
Okay. Because maybe if we have an encouraging letter, they will start coming.
Sure. All right.
Emerging trends and opportunities. Do we have anything about that?
I don't.
Local opioid settlement fund requests for 2024 and 2025.
So Chris Corpola was prepared to give a little spiel on how those funds are being requested and utilized. So we'll probably keep it as a placeholder for future meetings for updates, just to keep the CJCC informed.
Yes, she's at the chamber meeting, right?
Yeah.
Agency reports.
That's everybody else. Andrea, question for you since we've got you on the line. How is your hiring process going with attorneys, and just wondering about for family treatment court and treatment court? They've just been asking when we might kind of see more participation, and I know you're waiting on that hiring process. So anything that you can share?
Yeah, I did offer a position to an ADA. He would be coming from Minnesota. You know, he is newly licensed in Wisconsin, and yet I talked to him today, and I thought like he was planning on moving here, and his wife just accepted a job on the other side of the Twin Cities. So I just, like, I think he's starting. It's just been unusual all around. This is, the whole hiring process is like non-existent. So this was the one applicant I got. So potentially starting at the end of January, but I don't really understand if he will be a long-term, if he's just like trying this for a month or two and then just going to decide if he's going to stay here. So it's just really, I wish I had more information. I am not, he has no criminal law experience, no Wisconsin law experience. Hopefully it will be a good fit, but he's really not like jumping in and super invested in coming here and building a life here. So I'm not really changing case assignments. I'm just going to show him the ropes for another, for a month or so and see if he's going to stay. And then if he is going to stay, then hopefully I can start getting more involved. I can say that I have a meeting with the attorneys in the office tomorrow. I was informed that the judges have changed their scheduling, and so one of the assistant DAs was extremely upset about we've lost our block of time for meeting with pro se defendants on Thursday mornings, and we don't really have any other block of time available. And so I would just say that I'm pushing my ADAs as much as I can, and then I'm adding to it tomorrow. We're going to discuss how we are going to function given this new additional duties that we have and more court time that we have. So until to me, like, our participation, I would love to be there, but like, we have to make our offers and appear in court, and those priorities come first. So the report within my office right now on duties, it's stretched thin, and we're just going to talk about this new additional duty in March. And so I don't know how well it's going to go over saying, no, you also have to go back to doing juvenile, family treatment court and treatment court on top of it.
Yeah, things are still in flux. So, okay, thanks for the update, and I guess keep us posted as things materialize. And yeah, tough spot. But any other agency updates? Marshall, anything you want to share?
Nothing overly important. As you discussed the warrant fee. I think Kevin's discussed that. Just that it costs every agency time and revenue having to go track people down, bring them to court. These offices put out, the courts are put out, the sheriff's office, police department, everybody's. It's a time and safety issue. That's why the resolution was created, to kind of make the county whole for the time and expenses for those failing to appear for the court ordered times. Other than that, everything hopefully will slow down here now after these last couple weeks of bad news around here. So
Yeah. Back to you, Judge
So,
Meyer.
Do you have a staff report?
Staff
I don't know
report
that
was staff report was attached, and unless you have any questions, just trying to keep you guys informed and no surprises.
I appreciate it. Meeting dates, next meeting date, February 20th for the CJCC quarterly meeting, and the next executive meeting is March 5th. Is there anything else anyone wants to discuss?
Nope.
All right. Well, we'll see you on February 20th.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
thank you.
Bye.